Adventurers, get ready for the ultimate showdown. Invasions are epic 50-player PvE battles where you and your crew defend the fort and its heart, the territory claim, from relentless waves of the Corrupted Horde. With just 25 minutes to survive, this adrenaline-pumping event takes place every 6 days across all ownable territories as of the Elysium Wilds expansion. Think you've got what it takes to hold the line against the forces of Big Mommy Isabella? Well, let's jump in and make sure. Anyone who is level 50 can sign up for an invasion, but many invasion leaders will want players who are at the very least level 60. Action has no bearing or impact on who can participate in an invasion, and in fact, interfaction cooperation is encouraged. Out of all of the activities in New World, invasions and defending against them is a true community builder. The first step in participating in invasions is finding out when and where they are. To do this, we go to the map view. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see objectives, territories, and then conflicts. Select the conflicts, and that will give you a list of the races, the wars, and the invasions that are occurring within the next 24 hours on your server. As you can see, tonight at 9 p.m., there's an invasion in Brimstone Sands. Sign up for that. Here I am in Brimstone. I'm going to come to the war board, and I am able to sign up directly at the war board of the town. The alternative way to sign up for the invasion is go to your map view, press the town. So this is New Corsica Capital. You'll see that it has an upcoming invasion, and it will allow me to sign up for the invasion from the map. Important item to note, map sign up is usually not available until at most 12 hours before the actual invasion. Also important to note, invitations will be sent out 10 minutes prior to the start of the invasion. This is a 9 p.m. invasion, and therefore the invitations for the invasion will go out at 8:50 p.m. server time. It's also important to understand that the order in which you sign up for an invasion does not guarantee you will get an invite. Governing company can only select 10 players before the invites go out, or can actually, even after, can only pull 10 players. The other 40 players are picked up out of standby randomly by the game. What happens if you lose an invasion? Territories that lose an invasion will suffer downgrades to their territory, stations, and the fort siege equipment. These downgrades will affect companies owning the territory, as this will reduce the amount of global tax revenue that the company collects from the global tax pool. Upon successfully defending in an invasion, players will receive 50 dark matter and invasion cash, over 1,000 gold, over 1,000 faction rep, 1,600 tokens, 750 territory reputation, 400 Azoth, and 50 seasonal XP. Invasion is some of the most rewarding activities in the entire game. If you want to crush in an invasion, the first thing you need to do is join the communications channel. Most servers rely on Discord for voice comms, since the in-game chat just can't handle the chaos of 50 players at once. Others might stick to raid text chat for coordination. You don't have to speak, but make sure you're listening in. Knowing how your team is communicating is crucial. I'll have links in the description of this video to the Invasion Hub Discord, and also a resource with a list of individual server-based discords. Remember, victory in an invasion isn't about just solo play. It's all about teamwork and coordination. So get into comms and make sure you're ready to dominate. Regardless of your invasion build, there are certain consumables that you're going to want to make sure that you have with you and that you use prior to the invasion. Generally, when you're 3 minutes out, the countdown has reached 3 minutes, there will be a general call for consumes. You want to make sure that you use an infused corrupted coating. You want to make sure that you're using a corrupted ward potion. You want to make sure that you're using a honing stone. Now, this is a powerful honing stone. There are different tiers of honing stones. If you use a lesser one, that's fine. Just be sure to use a honing stone. Every little bit helps. And then attribute food. And this is really going to be dependent upon what it is that your build is going to be. My build right now is a con free build, so actually I'm going to use the seasonal food, which is super cheap for me, and it's good for 36 minutes. I'm sorry, for 40 minutes, and it gives 36 con, which, I mean, honestly, that's all I really need. My current build, my dexterity is at 500 for my bow and my spear. I have the strength for the spear, for the secondary, and I am using attuned leather pants. I'm not taking advantage of the 10 and 10. If this was a mage build, it would be the stats would be different. Mainly there'd be no 100 strength. I would have the extra points in intelligence and focus. But yeah, so that's why I'm choosing the spiced nog for the attribute food. And finally, I like to use Desert Sunrise. Other people swear by incense, and this is for, I use it for damage over times. Other people use it for the corruption, which for actual corruption, the combat that, especially if I'm maging, I use the corruption tinctures. And then of course health pots, because this is my dex character. I just have hearty meals in that slot. Otherwise, I would probably have regen potions. I do leave this slot open for haste pots. That's just the way that I have my builds set up. The key consumables that you want to make sure that you're using are the coating, the ward, the honing stone, and whatever attribute food works best for your build and for your effect. For an invasion, classes can be broken down into 4 basic groups: mages, ranged decks, melee and tanks, and healers. For mages, you want to have a fire staff and an ice gauntlet. You want to have ice shower on your ice gauntlet to help protect and stop the ad waves. You want to put the majority of your attribute points into intelligence, and your focus are the mobs, not the elites that run to the door, not the brute, not the commander, not the priest, not the Spriggan. It's everything that comes behind them. Also bombers. Bombers are probably the ad type, the mob type with the greatest number of player kills, and they can wipe out entire gates. Mages need to focus on spawn points with AoEs, and they need to focus down bombers. Ranged dex players should have a bow or a musket. Popular offhand choices include spear and rapier. Just make sure that you have Rend and Weaken for those offhand. The attribute that you want to put most of your points into is dexterity. Melee and tanks are basically lumped together. Now here's the truth about all invasion classes. The constitution that you use shouldn't be more than 50. I can understand if you're a new invasion player and you want to run 100 con, like, that's understandable. But honestly, if you have more than 50 con, you're throwing. Melee and tanks, their priorities are going to be the elites that get to the gates, that get to the doors. But when they make that run up to the door, melee and tanks should be going up, following, and killing. Invasion healers all have Lifestaff. If you don't have a Lifestaff, don't H up as a healer. Make sure to put the majority of your attribute points into focus. And you should be AoE spec'd, area of effect. I think it's very important to note that every invasion host, leader, shotcaller will not necessarily do things the exact same way as other invasion leads, shotcallers, hosts. Yes, there is best invasion best practices, which is what we are presenting today. However, there are multiple different ways to run an invasion and still be victorious. Let's talk quickly about the invasion-specific roles. Invasion-specific roles include the Shotcaller / invasion leader / invasion host. This is traditionally the person who is organizing and running the invasion, and they will generally have a gold crown. Be considered the quote-unquote general of the army. The Woo Caller / Buy Time Caller is an invasion specific role that calls out the times that players are able to go and make consume purchases for red tents inside of the fort. Some servers use a bot for this. Other servers actually have a person who does it. It's just important to recognize who's doing it and, if need be, turn their volume up. The gate caller is someone who is assigned to a gate who calls elites in siege that the corrupted are sending against the gate. Traditional elites include the priest, commander, Spriggan, brute, and bear. Siege that generally gets called is the trebuchet, and whenever a cow is launched over the gate. Some servers, they don't want you to call brutes, they don't want you to call bears. Just follow along with what your specific server is calling. So let's talk about the repair team. The repair team is a very specific group, usually 2 or 3 people in the invasion, who are tasked with pulling repair parts out of the blue tents. Traditionally, they are the only players allowed in the blue tents. Do not go into the blue tents unless you are on the repair team. The repair team will coordinate amongst themselves and with the rest of the invasioneers to repair gates that are damaged. Some companies allow gates to go down 25% before repairing. Some companies prefer the repairs to happen instantaneous. That is strictly a per invasion, per company invasion, shot caller, lead decision. There's no real right or wrong answer for it. That wraps up the preparations and essential basics of understanding roles for invasions. Now let's talk quickly about the invasion itself. And if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for when I put out new content. It really helps the channel and spreads the knowledge about New World. The invasion lasts 25 minutes and consists of 8 waves of enemies. Each wave getting progressively harder with increased enemy numbers, difficulty, and length. I will put a link to the latest wave spawn sheet we've been using since Season 3, that's been continuously updated and maintained by the best Woo caller in all of Aeternum, Rapier Plays Games.
It's a buy time.
You can find that link in the description of this video. Among the enemies, there are 4 elite foes that spawn at specific regular intervals, each requiring unique strategies to handle effectively. They include the Priest. The Priest charges up to the gate and erects a red protective dome over himself. This makes him invulnerable to ranged attacks. You must get in close and melee him under the dome. The Priest should be the top priority as he buffs all the other corrupted enemies on the gates. Focus on taking him down quickly to avoid having the other enemies buffed and overwhelm the defenses of the gate. The Commander. When the Commander spawns, he's going to charge directly at the highest DPS player within his range of the gate. High DPS players need to stay alert for this charge. It is dodgeable. After targeting a player, he's going to transition to attacking the gate. While tanks can taunt normal enemies and some elites, the Commander will often prioritize gates and objectives over players due to scripted behaviors. He will charge again if he is successfully pulled off the gate, targeting the next highest DPS player and leaving a damaging, burning trail that can be lethal to low constitution players. Avoid standing in his burn trail and coordinate the attack to reduce his impact. The Spriggan. The Spriggan takes a slow lumbering path to the gate with devastating attacks of a club smash that hits players both in front and behind him as well, and also an area of effect jump attack that deals significant damage. The Spriggan is particularly vulnerable to headshots, allowing top-tier ranged DPS to land massive damage with headshots that can exceed 15k. The Brute. Resembling the Mergardian demon, the Brute lumbers towards the gate, can fast charge if hit by siege weaponry mounted on the fort. To handle the Brute, break the Brute's stamina with heavy attacks, forcing it to kneel. Channel your inner kneel before Zod moment, and then delete him.
Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
The Brute spends approximately 10 seconds on objectives before prioritizing players. Skilled players can pull aggro early and lure it away from the gate and back to the corrupted areas. The Bear. Finally, we come to he who is known as the Furry Commander, or Stat Paddington. The Bear is by far the easiest elite to handle. Bears are highly tauntable and will prioritize players over objectives. Players with Bear aggro can walk them literally around the fort, effectively neutralizing their impact on the defenses of the gate. Guys, I don't want this video to be longer than an invasion itself, but if you made it this far, remember these final pro tips to ensure victory in all of your invasions. Guys, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. It is imperative that you communicate effectively with your team to assign priorities and manage the flow of enemies. The only way invasions are won is through the cooperative efforts of everyone involved. You can buy ammunition pouches to reload siege weapons and incendiary mines from the red tents. If you buy incendiary mines, you have to load them into your hotbar to place them, and they should be placed against the gate doors on the outside of the fort. Since only 15 can be placed in the entire invasion at one time, be sure to leave some for the other gates. Bison trebuchets will launch cows over the walls of the fort. When they land, they are a pimple and will spawn grunts or bombers that will damage your stations, including the repair parts generator, or the territory claim in the center of the fort if ignored. This is something that needs to be managed, and you need to be actively engaged in getting the trebuchets down and possibly having the repair team also be popping your pimples. Utilize strong DPS and crowd control to handle elites efficiently while protecting your gates. A lot of invasion leaders will use flex groups, and the utilization of rending and enfeebling cannot be understated. If you're going to be in a flex group, it is imperative that you utilize these debuffs on the elites. Make sure to keep an eye on gate health and allow your repair team to repair as needed to ensure your fort's defenses remain intact. If they seem to be struggling, be sure to communicate with them first before doing anything independently. Repair teams are often highly coordinated, highly skilled players with a lot of experience, and independent action may throw their entire gameplay off. Guys, I just want to say thanks for watching. Hope you found this helpful, and I really hope that this helps lead you to victory over the Corrupted Horde. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck, have fun, kill 'em all.